Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gargano Show!
Studios. This is the Anthony Gargano Show. Wow, what a weekend of football, baby. It's on. It's on in a big way. What a weekend. What a day yesterday. It all began Thursday night here with the Birds and the 1-0 start for the Eagles. And then we went to it Friday night, Chargers and Chiefs all day yesterday. Big game of big games at NFL football. We'll get into it. We'll kind of look at it. The whole thing, couple things emerge, like the Packers. Are the Packers the Eagles' chief competitor in the NFC? It looks like that after week one. Obviously, lots can change, but the early read is the Packers. A lot of Green Bay love. We'll dive into that. We got Zadarius Smith in the fold. We love that signing over the weekend by Howie, the Howie Wizard. And then, of course, we wait today. The verdict will come down on what the penalty is for Jalen Carter and the possible suspension. It appears now that it won't be a game suspension, that they'll look at it and say, well, it was before the game, and what wound up happening is you wind up losing the first game, so he got suspended. So I'm hoping, and I think that's what's going to be the case, especially after like kind of Lamar last night. I don't think the league wants to open up that can of worms. So we'll find out for sure at some point this morning, but it appears that Jalen Carter will not get suspended. We'll keep you posted. And across the street, a monster series. This is the shovel dirt on the Mets series for the divisions, for the division title. 4 games against the Mets beginning tonight at Citizens Bank Park. Perfect time to exercise any Mets demons that are there. You hold it greatly. Look, since the sweep in New York, both teams have gone the opposite way. The Phillies roll up until yesterday. The Mets go into the toilet. The lead is 7 for the Fightins. So barring any kind of catastrophe, the Phillies are in great shape. Look, I'll be happy with a split. You take 3 or 4, it'll be over. You get at least a split. That should suffice. Dodgers and Padres have been scuffling, so that's great. The lead there the Phillies have on the 2 spot in the National League is 4 games. So they're looking good. We'll get into the little Phillies. We got to talk about Phillies Karen today and that horrible woman. We will get to her. In fact, we're going to do a thing called we'll give the top 5 worst Philadelphia fans that we want excommunicated from the fold. So they're not family, all right? She's not family. She might have been wearing the gear, but she's horrible. And what she did was just despicable over the weekend in Florida. So we'll talk about that. Lots to get to, but we begin with the Birds, right? Little fallout from Thursday night. The Eagles still look like, to me, the best team in the conference. Talking to some people, it's funny. If you look at the weak spot, if you want to go that route first, it really is just the one quarterback spot. Adoree Jackson, I don't think can play. So at some point, I think they hope that Ja'Cory Bennett's going to take over that spot. Other than that, I mean, when you go back, and I saw the tape, when you go back and look at it, I mean, they were able to really kind of control defensively the second half. Now you want to talk about the weather, and it affected both teams, and the CD drops. I'm not worried at all about the Eagles. I think the Eagles defense will get better and better and better. And we talked about this. Darius Smith had 9 sacks last year for the Lions. Like, that's a really good signing. The fact that he was out there is a big deal. So I love getting edge depth with Zadarius Smith. Looking at the tape, the one thing that stands out is just how they floated the football defensively, right? It's such an advantage when you can snuff out anything underneath, whether it's a design play that's looked to get, break some tackles, get into space, all right, or it's a check down. The Eagles are so good at flowing to the football, at snuffing out any sort of fire underneath. And if you remember, it was not always the case. Even when they went to the Super Bowl in 2022, they were a poor tackling team. That teams on 3rd and 9 would go underneath. How many times did we see that, right? 3rd and 9, a team goes underneath, and then they get the first down, right? Because you're playing to the sticks. But not this team. This team is fast. They fast to the football. They're physical. They gang tackle between Jihad, who's going to be a star. That kid is legit. He pops all over the tape. That and him and Bond next to each other, forget about it. Great, great tandem linebackers. It's amazing how good the Eagles linebackers are. And then you got the secondary because Cooper and Reed are such great tacklers. They're so strong up the middle, and that's without Carter in the game. Like, I can't stress enough that with Carter's in the game, it's a completely different game in its entirety. It's a different game, right? There's more pressure on Prescott. The Carter's going to eat up double teams, and you're going to get guys flying off the edge. Like, there's a lot. The Cowboys said it, that when he got thrown out, they completely changed their protection scheme. So I feel great about the Birds, and offensively, they're going to be good. Like, we know that. Like, that's just who they are. So now, yesterday, looking at the rest of the league, it was clear, like, the Packers are really good. The 2 additions on offense, Matthew Golden, he's a speed receiver out of Texas, their number 1 pick. I've been telling you about him. He's very good. And it gives them a dynamic. Now, all of a sudden, they have a true number 1, and all those 2s and 3s and 4s that they have a collection of kind of slot in, right? Dobbs is their 2, right? They have a good tight end in Kraft. So their offense is legit. Obviously, they can run the ball with Jacobs. So they got a really good offense. Love is healthy. He was spinning it nice yesterday. And defensively, they're really good. Like, defensively, they were a top 5 team in sacks last year, and you had Micah Parsons, who got his first sack yesterday, and they snuffed out the Lions. They dominated that football game. In fact, they held Gibbs and Montgomery to 20 carries for just 44 yards. They got after Goff. Goff didn't hurt them. The receivers didn't hurt them. They had the 1 turnover, the interception. The Pack is good, right? So the Pack emerge as the Eagles' chief competitor. Obviously, it's early, but we do this stuff week to week. And we saw Green Bay look pretty formidable. That, and we'll get to all the rest of the league that happened, but the Eagles in great shape as we enter Sunday against the Chiefs. Chiefs did not look great Friday night, and their loss to the Chargers. Now, it's Brazil, but the Chargers were able to move the ball when they wanted to move the ball. I think their offensive line looked better. Now, again, they were down 2 receivers. They lost Worthy early in the game on the friendly fire with Kelsey. So the Chiefs, we'll see. Sunday, the Eagles started in the look-ahead line as a slight dog. They are now a slight favorite. So the rematch, I still like the Eagles in the rematch. We'll get to that coming up. Good morning, VG.
Buddy.
A lot to go over, man.
Jam-packed weekend.
A lot of good football. I love having it coming back.
Yeah, I thought some of the football I was a little disappointed in some of it. Offenses, they're not caught up yet. Jets game was good. Steelers was good, but not a lot of great quarterback play this weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a different.
Rams didn't look. They were, I don't know.
I mean, that game last night was
the game last night was phenomenal.
It's the classic.
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought there was 2 great games yesterday. The rest were like,
Yeah, I loved
Which
it.
game did you love yesterday?
I like the Lions Packers game. I was riveted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
I watched early. I watched Washington and the Giants.
Oof. All that Giants talk.
Yeah.
What are they doing with Russ? Like, what do you
What
are they wasting this time for?
How many times did I say during the preseason, if I were them, I would start Dart.
Like, what's the point of him playing? There's no point. You're not making a playoff run.
They don't want to start Dart right away, I guess, is they don't want to put him in the fire too soon.
I guess, but you learn. Throw him in there and learn to swim.
Yeah,
the deep end.
That's what I would do.
There's no point. He's horrible.
He's sick. He's got nothing. I looked at Washington, and I got to tell you, I'm still unimpressed with them offensively. I think defensively they got better. They look pretty good, but offensively,
well, they look good against the Giants.
Agreed. But I'm just talking about it as a whole.
Yeah.
You look through it and forget the opponent. But offensively, I look at him and I go, they don't scare me. Debo was good.
He was better than I thought. I thought he was going to be bloated and slow.
He looked real good. But you still got Zach Ertz is 1,000. Like he'll catch everything, right? Like he'll catch stuff. But I don't know. I'm not afraid of Washington.
No,
the young back looks okay, but I'm not afraid of the Commanders a little bit.
I feel pretty good as an Eagles fan. No one really impressed me. I know the Packers, they did their thing, but last time we saw the Lions, they didn't look great in the playoffs. I don't know, man. I know they were hurt last year, but they're coming in, 2 new coordinators. The offense looks a mess.
Well, because of their line. They had to replace 2 key pieces of that line, including their center, Frank Ragnow, who was a mainstay there. And remember, we talked about this. His retirement early was a big deal. It created a monster hole there.
Yeah, it would be like the Eagles losing Kelsey with no backup plan.
Yeah. No Dickerson waiting in Detroit.
None.
And without a line, you saw they got dominate the line of scrimmage. So what happens is Gibbs and Montgomery 20 carries, 44 yards. The Lions are a team that need great offensive line play because they're a run-first team. As much as they can be aerial in the dome, they do that off the run. Everything comes from the run, which then they go upstairs on play action, and that's where Goff's at his best.
That's where Goff shines.
Right.
When he doesn't have that habit, and he's ordinary.
He's got to go 3rd and 8. Let's go.
Let's go.
Right? Like, you're 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, so feel good about it.
I feel good as an Eagles fan where we stand. I mean, the second half of the Eagles games, not great, but that delay was everything. Threw everything off kilter.
I agree. I threw the whole game off. Like, you can't have 2 if halftime is one thing, and then an hour delay in a football game is a killer.
And Zadarius Smith, nice. How he waits. I didn't know if they waited the week. Now it's not a guaranteed contract. He comes in.
I love that.
Just wait till week.
I love that.
And I guess they had the advantage. You can't sign once you play your game. You can sign them without a guarantee. They're the first game. Boom. Like a strategic, great move.
Yeah. How we had it ready to go.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if one more week we might see a cornerback come in as well at some point. If we have another week like this,
I'll tell you. I think they feel comfortable with Bennett. I think they're extremely worried about Jackson. I don't think they like Jackson.
Yeah.
I think they feel much better.
Like Jackson since training camp.
I think that I think Bennett is their guy. I think they look at him and go, all right. There's not a lot of corners on the street, man. That's the one thing.
I mean, Gilmore's out there, right? He's out there on Twitter trying to get some. Whoa! It's like an amusement ride over here. A chair going
Look at this chair. Look at this chair.
You look like you're 3 foot tall now. Now you're like 6'5".
Jesus, this chair stinks.
You busted the chair.
No,
you broke the chair.
This thing stinks.
Oh man, it's like a nice hydraulic ride over there. You went from having bad allergies, now you're going to have like vertigo from bouncing up and down.
Up and down.
Yeah.
Up and down.
Yeah.
God forbid. I hate these chairs. With a passion, I hate
it. Throw it out the window, cuz.
I will. Look down below.
Launch it.
Look out below. I think we're going to move permanently to the den. the Xfinity Den.
Love the Den.
We're fans of the Den.
How'd you celebrate your Chargers victory?
You're starting with me early. Like, just leave me alone, all right? I got a lot to do today. Anthony has his first game today at 4:00. I got to do the Matt Rule podcast before that, which is why I wear my Huskers.
That's a good Huskers.
Yeah, it's I gotta represent for them.
Yes.
So we have that going on. So I don't need any headaches.
Speaking of headaches and hammies, you worried about Trey?
I am worried about Trey.
Yeah. They promote Ada Miller pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm worried about Trey in a big way.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's had a ridiculous season, and you need Trey Turner to be healthy for the playoffs. So shut him down. I don't care. Whatever it is, he has to be right for the playoffs.
If they shut him down to the playoffs, can they hold on to the 2 spot in this run against the Dodgers with a 4-game lead without Trey?
4-game lead.
Dodgers have been playing like trash.
They're not good.
They lost 5 of 6 to the Pirates and Orioles.
What's amazing is their offense is nothing,
and their bullpen is worse.
Right? Like their offense, you thought that their offense would be dynamically scary, right? Because you look at it, you go Ohtani, Betts,
Ohtani's really
Freeman,
carrying the team.
Teoscar, Hodges, like Will Smith, like they're not Conforto. They have like
he stinks. I kind of wanted him too. He's worse. He's way worse than Kepler. No, he's horrible.
He's done nothing. They go 8 strong out of the box in our lineup, but they're bad,
dude. How about
none of them a hit?
The 2 games this week. Last night, I think the Ravens had a 99.1 chance to win it. And then at Dodgers game, did you see they were no hit? Orioles threw 8 2/3 innings, no hit. And this is the first team ever with 2 outs, right?
I know.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, what a story. Like crazy stories. We have to ask the Brain will join us coming up. Thanks to our friends at Bet Parks. Brain will join us coming up. I wonder what the live line was to win, for the Bills to win and over the Orioles. I mean, it's crazy.
Money line.
That game last night was riveting.
I will say, we have a new coordinator. Those 2 offenses look good last night.
Oh my God,
they look great. A little better than the Birds offense right now.
So it doesn't matter. Listen, I put the AFC. I don't worry about anybody in the AFC. I always look at it like from the NFC standpoint, like who's there. If you look at the NFC, what happened? You look. There's nobody out west. Arizona struggles early against the Saints. The Niners had to come back, and they only put up 14. Right? The Seahawks. Whatever. Rams. All right. They looked all right, but they didn't look great. They didn't look scary. We'll see Vikings and Bears tonight. And that's really your land. Tampa, Atlanta. Yeah. All right. Like there
has been some slight movements on the NFL futures for Super Bowl.
Packers.
Eagles are now 3rd to win best odds. Bills come in number 1 at 550.
Ravens too.
650.
Yeah. Packers 4.
Yeah, plus 900.
Then Chiefs.
I don't know. Chiefs are. They might be cooked.
I think the Chiefs
they just seem old.
They seem old. Well, the other thing too is they already lost Rice to suspension, and then you lose Worthy early on the friendly fire.
Kelsey blew him up.
Right? Like that. I think that. I mean, that killed them.
Yeah, they don't have a running game I really respect. Pacheco.
I like Pacheco. I mean, we'll see. Again, listen, the Chargers are good. I keep telling you that. Nobody wants to believe me. And you joke that I'm a Chargers fan, which I'm not.
You just Anthony Harbaugh, that's all.
He's a great coach.
They both are great coaches.
Who?
The Harbaughs.
They're great coaches. I mean, he's a great coach, and the kid can play. Like Herbert can play. Like that's all. And look, Quentin Johnson actually caught a ball, and he caught a couple touchdowns. Last year, he couldn't catch anything, right? And then this year, he was able to. He showed sticky hands after one game in Brazil. Who thought? Right. Crazy. All right, lots to get to. EJ is coming up to go over all the Birds news. Lots and lots and lots to talk about. We'll get into that. We got the Brain. We got David Murphy Mondays. So we'll talk Phillies and Birds with Murph.
Yeah, see what kind of mood he is. He wrangled some people last week. He was a little bitter or a little like Murph. He was a little acerbic. Is that a good word for that? He was like pushed people's buttons last week.
He did.
Yeah.
You know, it's a blur. Like after the weekend, it's just all a blur. I had two baseball games all weekend, right? Saturday, I had to go. We had a baseball game and on the big field. Oof.
Is that a big difference?
Yeah. You're playing the real field.
Yeah.
Nobody's hitting home runs in the real field.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you play, it's great. You're hitting little league bombs.
Right.
There ain't no bombs hitting in this field. Right? We hit the big field. So I had that, and then we had a football game, and then I had to
Was
leave.
a football game an actual game, like real regular season?
It was a preseason game,
Okay.
but it was like a real game.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to leave, so I didn't really see it because we had a wedding.
We had the big wedding. How was that?
It was beautiful.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
The
rain held off. Nice.
Yeah, it was a beautiful place, Longwood Gardens.
Yeah.
And Boo had with all his family. Beautiful.
Nice.
Beautiful event.
Tooch there?
Everybody was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, whole family, of course. Yeah. Well, everybody was
Tooch
there.
wear a suit?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Yeah, we went together.
Yeah. Carpool?
Yeah. Well, we live real close to each other, so we always carpool to the events.
All right.
Tooch always drives.
Yeah.
And I thank him.
Yes.
Because he always does. He don't want me driving anyway, so he don't want me. All right. I'm good as a passenger.
Yeah, you're a solid passenger.
I'm a great passenger.
Do you have to be shotgun, or can you be a passenger anywhere? You're
Dude,
good.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm a passenger.
All
All right.
right.
I don't like to drive. I hate driving. I hate cars. All right.
yeah.
They're just a hassle. Some people are great drivers. They love it. I'm not. All right.
I've driven with you. I think you're a good driver. You don't
listen.
bug me out. You don't speed and tailgate.
I'm competent. I'm
Yeah.
just a competent
Yeah.
guy. But I hate it. All right.
I know. Jules, I drive with him for 10 minutes, 20 minutes every Friday in the city. I hate this city. Get me out. These people are crazy. What's this guy doing on the bike?
Well,
Guy on
the
the
worst
bike almost ran into you.
Well, the guy on the bike running out. Do you have the scooter people that think that they're driving a car? Like you're driving. And the other day, me and Kevin, we're coming back from Skinny Joey's, right?
Yeah.
And we're driving. I'm driving him back to the hotel because he's getting ready for Sports Center. So I'm on, where was I on? 13th Street. And my God, there's a girl on with a scooter. And she's in the middle of the street.
Oh, she's taking up the whole road?
Oh, yeah.
Ha
And the best is
she going 25 miles per hour with it?
come on, bro. It's a scooter. Like,
They go
it's
like
not-
30 miles per hour,
it's
some
not
of
a
them.
car, right? So I'm driving and I'm respectful. I'm not behind it. Like I don't want to like go up against it. So I have a healthy kind of lag,
Bumper, like a little buffer.
right?
Yeah.
But meanwhile, finally she pulls to the side to veer, and I pass her, and she gives us a dirty look.
Oh, yeah?
I'm like, yo, dude, you're not a car.
Does it speed up as you drove past her, like angry? Like,
No, I didn't do anything. I was just talking to Kevin. All right, it's a hassle. I hate driving. All right, lots to get to. Let's take care of some business, shall we? Let's talk about our friends at Rothman Orthopedics. They keep us in motion, all right? So if something's going on, like today, Andrew's out, thanks to Jules, our head of production. She's in today for Andrew, who's visiting a Rothman doctor because he had neck surgery. And how about it, man? He looks great.
oh, yeah.
They
He's
did
out
an
there
amazing
biking
job.
like 80 miles a week.
Yeah, they did an amazing job with him. So yeah, it's about from your neck and
They
Rothman.
saved
It's
my
your
neck.
wife. Yeah. Me, my Achilles tendon, my knee. Right. I've had ACL and Achilles. And thanks to all of our friends at Rothman, they keep us in motion. And that's what I want to tell you about this fall. Look, you love getting out there. We're an active sports town. So we're still going after it. Hoops, driveway hoops, right? Little street football, like turkey bowls, like whatever it is. You want to be active. It's fun, all right? And if something's ailing you, an old injury or a new one, make sure you go to Rothman Orthopedics. Don't let pain put your fall on pause. Visit rothmanortho.com/PHLY to book your appointment today. Get back doing what you love. Pain-free. Rothman Orthopedics getting you back to your fall game, your fall football game is their mission. Now let's talk about the Ford Explorer. Yeah. America's all-time best-selling SUV. A legacy of family trust and performance. You got 3-row seating for up to 7 passengers, which is great for families and road trips.
Yes. Or baseball bats and other things. Just gear.
Yeah, Lord knows I got a lot of that. Oh, it's the sports. Like when Kevin got my car, I went, don't mind it. All right, this is the sports car. It's not a sports car. It's a sports vehicle. All right, with all kinds of nasty. There's still a hole from the deer that hit me. Oh, it's terrible. That's why I need a Ford Explorer. Yeah, the V6 kicks it up to 400 horsepower. All right. They have the hybrid models, offers 500 miles of driving range, great balance of power and economy. They have the suite of advanced driver assist features. A digital instrument cluster adds a high-tech feel to the driving experience. They have a large touchscreen, voice commands. All right, you have all the select drive modes: snow, sand, haul,
beach action.
Yeah, you name it. All right. They have it all, man. Built for families, but ready for adventure. A true do-it-all SUV. For more information, visit your local Ford store. Now, joining us on the Xfinity guest line, our man who covers the birds, does such a great job, E.J. Smith. Good morning, E.J.
What's going on, guys? It feels good, right? Sunday full of football. You got Monday Night Football tonight. It's good to be back.
Oh, it's heavenly. I was watching the game last night. My father's texting me. He's like, "This is great. This game's great. This is awesome." You know, I'm like, I know. I'm like, what? Like, in fact, VG, they were talking about. Jamie said and I can't wait to watch Task, which is the new Brad Inglesby, Jeremiah Zagar show. We had them on, and it's on HBO. But I'm like, listen, I'm going to watch that Tuesday night after Phillies Mets, right? But last night, I was all about Bills and Ravens.
Locked in on that game.
And you were like,
that
you're
was
mocking me.
Crazy game.
I was honest. I was mocking Jamie, saying he's watching Task with the sun. I'm mocking you. I'm saying like, I was eating jerky, watching turkey jerky, watching the game.
Okay, I thought that was a shot.
No, I was not taking a shot at you. I'm taking a shot at him watching Task while this amazing game was on.
All right. We wait the news for Jalen Carter today. It doesn't appear that a suspension is likely.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the fact that they've floated this is probably trying to strengthen like the messaging around it a little bit, but I'd be surprised still. I still would be pretty surprised based off of the precedent, based off the fact that, the stuff we've talked about, the fact that he, got tossed so early in the game. I think that'll be a hefty fine, but yeah, I'd be surprised if it was a suspension at this point. But again, you can't rule it out. I mean, you heard it so much yesterday from all the national reporters about all of the different criteria that were going to be considered, and just the fact that the league has spent so much time this offseason harping on sportsmanship, respecting your opponent. But again, even with all that said, it would be surprising based off of the way that they've handled these in the past if we saw him miss more time.
Do you guys think he spits on Thursday, the Florida player spits on Saturday? Do you think that goes into their thought process at all? Like, we got to stop this before this happens everywhere?
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't, but I did see a report from CBS Sports, Jonathan Jones, that said that would be that could be factored into the criteria. I think that's strange. I think that is like Jalen Carter. That's not something he can control. Like, I don't think you can really make a valid argument that Carter spitting on Thursday really influenced this kid to spit on Saturday. I mean, I think that's a leap right there. So, is it going to be a part of the factors? It sounds like it could be, but again, I have a hard time really wrapping my head around that one, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and the issue moving forward with Jalen is not his talent. We know that's supreme. Sure. It's just keeping your head. And I know, Big Dom was like, dude, you let the whole team down. Like, you let everybody down. You have to think, and he's the kid that, will snap and he loses it. And, he's got to get control. And that's the whole thing. That was the MO coming out of Georgia. And it's what it is now. Like, you got to be smart.
Yeah, it reminds me of Ndamukong Suh's career, where he had a few of these instances where he got tossed from games for crossing the line. I was talking to my wife about it, and I was like, Myles Garrett, like he swung a helmet at a guy a few years ago. So you've seen defensive linemen in particular have these moments where they cross the line. I think it'll be really interesting to see how Jalen Carter responds to it. How when he is back with the team, how he handles that. Obviously Jalen Hurts came out and he was fairly critical of Jalen Carter after the game, talking about the importance of discipline and focus. He wasn't pointed. He didn't necessarily bring up Jalen Carter, and he didn't single
No,
out
but we
Jalen
all knew
Carter.
what he
But
inferred,
yeah,
and he was
we
right.
knew what he
And,
meant.
and,
Yeah.
and Jalen was
Right.
right about it. Look, you're
Yeah.
putting everybody in a bad spot, and that's the thing. Hopefully, I know that they've done a lot with him and
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
trying to ease this whole thing forward. It's a grind. Like he's got a lot of baggage type of thing.
Yeah, and he just he has a lot of he had a lot of growing up to do when he got to the Eagles. And I think everyone acknowledged that. Even I think he would have acknowledged it to a certain
Yeah.
extent that, he needed to learn how to be an adult, And I think that you're right, they've done a lot of work, and it'll be important because, this is the first year that he doesn't have that veteran presence in the room, or at least, among that defensive line. You think about the year he spent with Fletcher Cox, you think about Brandon Graham being somebody who could kind of hone him in. It is going to be an important year for him to be a leader on this team. And yeah, like I said, I want to see how he responds to this adversity early in the season.
I think there are two guys that he listens to. It's Dom and Clint
Yep.
Hurt. Clint
Yeah,
Hurt,
yeah.
who's their D-line coach, who's a great coach and a great guy. I think more so than even his peers, the veterans. I think it's those two that really have to they try to keep a wrap on them.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, you see, like Clint Hurt, I think he can sort of play that like father figure role
Yeah.
sometimes for him. Like, I think he's close with his family, and you can kind of just tell that he's like kind of protective of him when he needs to be, but hard on him when he needs to be. And then Dom, I think, is the one. Yeah, like I said, when we went into that locker room, we were wondering if he was going to talk on Thursday night. I said, well, Dom is the one that would have gotten him to talk, and I think that is an
Yeah.
important presence for him.
Yeah, he
for
said
sure.
you got to own it. You got to go. It's important
Yeah.
for you to own it. It's important for you and just say the right things. You
Right.
have to own it. It's for your own good.
And I think that will help him with the league's decision coming out and just addressing it, being contrite about it. I think that's important.
All right, the big signing over the weekend, which I loved, Zadarius Smith by the Howie Wizard. All right, he strikes again. They needed depth. You knew they needed depth off the edge, and you get a guy that's coming off the street who had 9 sacks last year.
Yeah, and I think he brings an element of power rushing that they could really use. Somebody who can collapse the pocket. When you watch his sacks back, that's definitely what stands out is just how often he can break down a pocket, get into a quarterback's lap. We've talked about that too. It's like having a guy who can collapse a pocket off the edge, having someone who can, rush off a 3 technique or a 4-eye, basically take one of those defensive tackle spots in an obvious passing down and be able to line up head up against a guard and win that way. So yeah, I think he's got some interesting versatility. Obviously, 33 years old. I think there is a valid question about what he has left in the tank, but I think it's hard to argue against it being an upgrade for this edge rusher group, considering how much the expectations for Azeez Ojulari, based off of the way that he had played in the past. He hasn't really lived up to those. He didn't have a good training camp. Obviously, wasn't active against the Cowboys. So no, I think that it was a smart move. It's one that really raises the floor for this group. And again, like if you told me at the beginning of the season that you were going to have somebody like that as your number 3 edge rusher, I would have felt a lot better about the group going into the year.
Yeah, I saw the all 22, and a couple things really excite me. To me, there's only one hole, and it's Dory Jackson, and
yeah,
I think they're hoping Bennett will kind of ease that. But other than that, man, the one thing that just pops, and you remember this from covering them in the early part of this decade, they couldn't tackle, and they were very susceptible to underneath. Like it was 3rd and 9, and teams went underneath, and they're playing at the sticks because this was Gannon, not Vic, and teams would get the first down. This team, the way they're built over them, we've talked about how strong they are in the middle. They flow to the football so well with Jihad, who's going to be a stud, with Bourne, Cooper, right, Reed. they're able to flow to the football. They gang, they tackle, they're physical, they're Raven-esque when it comes to their
Yeah.
linebacker and safeties.
No, that's a great analogy. I mean, they are a young, athletic defense, and we've talked about this linebacker core before being a group that can, have that range, that sideline to sideline range. And yeah, it does kind of remind you of the Ravens. It reminds you both stylistically, the demeanor that they play with, but also just the way that they build it. It's funny because I think back of those Jonathan Gannon defenses, and it does stand out. Like, you're talking about TJ Edwards and Kaiser White, and they were solid, they were okay, but now you've got difference makers at those spots. You've got guys who can make other people right around the scheme. So no, it's a big difference, and I think that they've also figured out how to coach it better. I think that is the Vic Fangio effect. The staff that he brought with him. We didn't see the Eagles practice or drill tackling the way that they do now. Obviously, they don't tackle in practice, but they do drill tackling throughout the season, and you see the difference. You really have seen, especially from week 5 on from last year, you've seen what the difference is with the practice habits, but also bringing somebody in like Cooper DeJean, bringing somebody along like Zach Bond, having those guys in those spots. It all has kind of contributed now to the point where you do think this is going to be one of the more physical defenses in the NFL, and that is an important thing when you think about some of the teams that they're going to have to go against, the tight ends, the athletic quarterbacks. That physicality really shows up against those types of things.
Yes, it does. The other thing too is, Makuba looked around the ball like he
Yeah.
was in great position. He has got good speed to get to the football. Like he's going to be a good player, I think.
No, that was what he did in college. Well, at least that 1 year in Texas, he was around the ball a lot. And it seemed like maybe something clicked for him at that safety spot. And I agree. Like, we went into the season, I feel like that safety spot was as big of a question as the corner spot. And I feel like Makuba, if he can stay healthy, he is the answer there. And I think Sidney Brown can still have a role. I think you can still find ways to use him, especially if you can get him closer to the line of scrimmage at times. I think that's where he really shines. But if you tell me that Makuba is going to be that guy for them, like be somebody who can be around the ball, can avoid the catastrophic mistake next to Reed Blankenship, then yeah, that secondary looks a lot more certain, especially because as Vic can trust him more, then you can start to compensate for that outside cornerback spot a little bit more. You can start to shade the coverages a little bit more toward whether it's a Dory Jackson or a Jacorian Bennett. You can start to do some more things if you have one weak link instead of having the two guys you're not so certain about.
All right, let's talk about the offense.
Well, do you like just because Jordan Schultz tweeted out 9 minutes ago the Eagles are working out Bengals cornerback Mike Hilton? Do you like that? I mean, does that ease your worries at all a little bit or a little bit?
No, I mean that's to me is you're going to take a shot. You're going to take a flyer. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
that's like the type
gone.
of corner that they already have. I mean,
Yeah.
if they added him, who knows? Maybe he is the next guy. But to me, I think that's like another Jacorian level addition right there. So you're just trying to figure out. You're trying to find one guy that fills that gap.
Yeah. Plus, if they don't, then I don't think they like Jackson. So if you got him to take that spot, if something happens to Bennett, you're covered.
Right.
Let's go to the offense because I thought Jalen played exceptional, right? Thursday night. Then Baldy came on Friday.
I heard that. Yeah.
And Baldy came on Friday and was like, no. When he got blitzed, he did not see it right away. He got skittish and didn't make the throw. Now, I guess I look at it differently in that, look, he's never going to throw it like that anticipation throw. I mean, he's not really going to do that. And so, like, he may have been conservative, but it worked, right? Like, he got yards, he tucked it, he ran. He could do that. Now, was it the optimum play? Probably not. Yeah, I mean, I saw what ball he was talking about, but I guess I grade it a little differently because he's so effective with his legs.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like you see like Lamar Jackson last night. Obviously Lamar is a one of one type player, but you saw how he can make he can make his offensive line right even when there's protection breakdowns. You see, and I think that is more Jalen is more stylistically more similar to that than he is like a true pocket operator where, you think about Joe Burrow on the other side of things where it's like if Joe Burrow's hot, he's going to get it to the right spot. He's going to get the ball out of his hands. He's going to find his hot routes. Jalen has never really been that quarterback, and I understand where Baldy's coming from because I think for this offense to really become, multiple to the extent that against a blitzing defense, against the Spags of the world, the Brian Floreses of the world, they in order to really be able to have the answer against those types of defenses, I do think that there needs to be more of those hot answers against the blitz. But we've seen this offense have a lot of success without that, and I think that the Cowboys game is a good example of like it's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be pretty, but I agree with you. I think Jalen had a really good game. I think, that's more of I think that it's an interesting conversation because you're really talking about the scheme at that point. Like, does he have hot routes? Does he have answers against the blitz? And then you can have a deeper conversation about why he might not have those answers against the blitz. And is that a product of Jalen's preferences within the offense? Would he prefer to have it the way that it is? So I think that is a nuanced conversation to have about really something that can limit the potential of the Eagles offense. But at the same time, I think when you're just grading out the way that he played against the Cowboys, I think he played really well.
So how did the lack of AJ Devontae play out, over the weekend? Like I don't know if there was much talk about that or what was the vibe around there?
Yeah, I mean, I really think that the Cowboys' plan was to take AJ away at times, and we went through we went through the film with Fran, and he pointed out that AJ didn't necessarily look as explosive as he normally would out of some of those breaks. So you do wonder if the residual impact of that hamstring injury affected him at all. I wonder if there's a small amount of that is just like kind of we've seen AJ at times float through games a little bit. You kind of lose focus if he doesn't get involved early. Now, again, Fran made a good point. Like he was strong in the run game, so it's not like
Yeah.
necessarily this is somebody who was just completely mailing it in. But yeah, I don't know. That's to me one of those things where if we're talking about this 2 or 3 weeks from now, then I think that's when you start to raise the red flag. I think we've seen the Eagles go through one game without having those guys heavily involved. And again, they won the game, so you're not going to really nitpick it too much. But yeah, it's definitely something going into this Chiefs game. Like, it would surprise me if AJ is not heavily involved.
Well, it'll be interesting because nobody's going to blitz you more than Steve, so they're going to come
Right?
after you. They know it, and if you go back to the Super Bowl, I mean, he did a good job against them in the field position worked against the Chiefs defense, and really it was just a couple big plays down the field. That was it. They stopped Saquon.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like this Spags experience this week, like I think that's going to give us our answer to where Kevin Patullo and Jalen Hurts are at when it comes to finding answers against the blitz. So yeah, I think that one's another TBD. But again, the early returns, it kind of looks like it has always looked against the blitz. So it's not to say that they can't succeed against it, but I think like when especially the film guys, and as much as Baldy does, I think these guys realize like it's not that complicated to have good hot routes in an offense. But for whatever reason, the Eagles just have not had it with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how it looks. But I'm just like I was, and I'm happy I was wrong about it. I told you last week, like, don't expect under center play action. We didn't see it during camp, like, and then they went out there and did it. Maybe they'll prove us wrong again. But I think that sometimes with this Eagles offense with Jalen, I kind of have to see it to believe it.
Yeah. Last thing, would you think of kind of the league yesterday? The Packers, after 1 week, emerged as the biggest threat.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that when like not only the fact that they beat the Lions, week one, a lot of stuff can happen, but
Yeah.
the way they did it, how dominant they looked, and the fact that Micah Parsons wasn't even a full-time player for them, you can see the room for them to grow as a team. I thought Jordan Love looked really good. So to me, the Packers feel like that other team in that top tier in the NFC. I want to see how the Vikings look tonight. I'm kind of curious to see what the Bears look like too. But yeah, I think that's how I feel about it too. Like the Packers, I wasn't as convinced by the Commanders win against the Giants. I got one. I wonder about that Commanders front. Obviously the Giants have a good defensive line, but didn't look like they could really protect Jaden Daniels all that well at times. Like that wasn't a convincing win to me. So, I think right now, if you ask
Yeah,
me who's going to be,
they look pretty ordinary to me
yeah, I agree.
offensively.
Yep.
Like, I don't really fear their weapons. I mean,
They
Debo
look like a
played
team
well,
that's
but
Yeah, they look like a team that's going to be tough to beat most weeks, but they don't look like a true NFC contender the way that the Packers and the Eagles. And well, again, we'll see about the Vikings tonight how they look. But really, that's how I see the field going out of week one here.
I agree. Great stuff, buddy. What do you got on tap today?
We got the show with Bo and Fran at 2 o'clock, and yeah, we're gonna get through talk some game, talk some NFL, like across the NFL, and I think Fran's got some leftover film notes for us too.
I love leftover film notes. Yes, nuggets. Great. All right, my brother. Great stuff as always, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
E.J. Smith.
Solid.
Yeah, very good. All right, now it's time. Brought to us by Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. The brain.
Wonder where he'll be today.
My guess is he's home today. My guess is he's in his lair. He's back in his lair today.
He was out at a concert this weekend. I want to ask him about.
He was at a concert?
He was.
Really?
Yes.
What concert?
He was.
There he is.
He had his boogie woogie disco shoes on this weekend.
What did you do?
It was oh my God, who was it?
It's KC and the Sunshine Band.
KC and the Sunshine Band. KC and the Sunshine Band.
What?
There's one moment where the Queen puts him on camera, and what are you working? You got your glasses on, your phone's out, you're going crazy on the phone, and you got.
It was during the some part of it was during the Chargers Chiefs game. So yeah, it's her fault. It's her fault.
Where was that at?
It was in Fort Lauderdale. In Fort Lauderdale, they
How were they?
So
they got a lot of hits.
I actually liked it.
Remember?
Yeah,
I actually liked it. I did. I didn't know. Again, if you'd asked me to name one song by them, like on my own, I've heard of all of them.
Dude, they got like 10 real legit hits.
I can't.
Yeah, they had like 10
it's a
real
Monday
legit hits.
after the game. I'm done with KC and the Sunshine Band. All right.
Hey, I didn't bring it up.
No, I'm not saying you did. I'm talking to my boy. I'm talking to Bike Chain.
He hates music.
But I did like it. I actually did like it.
Okay.
But yeah, I was working.
Did you like the football game last night? Because that was a great game. With 4 minutes to go and the Bills down 16, what was the live line at that moment?
I'll be honest, I didn't even, oh my God, I don't even, I'm so mad I didn't look what it was. 'Cause I didn't think they had a chance to win. But you know what, Anthony? And I feel horrible for those who had the Ravens, like pick them, but you could have taken +1.5 like forever and a day. And if you just waited to the end and you're holding the pick 'em ticket, or, like you didn't win you lost the bet. You lost the bet. It was 41-40. And again, you could have taken 1.5 the entire time. And instead you have a loss that you're just going to psychologically was a tough one. I just can't believe that they came back. I really couldn't. I mean, it looked like a Ravens day. Everything about it, they were winning. It was never a time I thought they were going to lose until, again,
the fumble. You've seen when Derrick Henry fumbled, it was like, wow.
Wow, yeah. But you know what, Anthony? And I swear I see it so many times. And it's just interesting, the psychology of sports. And I wish I could speak to, like, I know you know a zillion and one coaches. They're up, was 41-40. Okay, they're up 40-38. And there's like, 3 minutes to go, 2.5 minutes to go, whatever it is. If it's me, now you may laugh at this, but I feel very comfortable that I'm right. The last thing I'm doing is going like run, pass. The last. I'd rather punt the ball than go run, pass. I am trying to aggressively get a first down because I know.
And you know what's crazy? Their first play was an end around by Lamar,
okay.
And they wound up getting a first down off it, right? And then
not at the end, I don't think so.
I don't
know if you're right on that. At the end, was that what happened?
There was one play. Was there maybe it was right around the 2-minute warning on first down, right?
No, first down they ran Derrick Henry. They ran the ball 2 straight plays, and it was
Well,
3rd and 9.
maybe it was the possession right before that.
It may have been the possession before. It was possession before. But
Well,
then
no,
Henry fumbled.
but my point to you is I agree with you. I would be aggressive and I would throw. All right? Like,
because
Zay Flowers,
comes down to
you're
this.
going to be manned up. They're going to crowd the box on you. I agree. Yeah, I think you got to throw.
It's actually a simple question. It's not even, there's so many hard things in life to answer. This is an easy one. If you're John Harbaugh, would you rather put the ball in Lamar's hand to get a first down, or would you rather put the hands in your defense against, they couldn't stop Josh Allen if they're offered $1 trillion. They couldn't do it. What would you rather do?
Of course.
I'd much rather put the ball in my MVP's hand and say, you know what? Because here's the thing, Anthony. If you don't get the first down, what's the difference? If you're passing, the running, they have enough time anyway to kick a field goal. They're going to have enough time. It's irrelevant. That's the funniest part about the whole thing. Oh, let's take time off the clock.
I guess
no,
I was looking at
anyway.
the possession beforehand because it happened.
That was a fumble for
So
Henry. That was a fluke.
Like, I'm with you. I would be aggressive. I'm a big believer in being aggressive in that situation, especially since, first of all, Lamar is the guy you can count on. He's accurate. He made some great throws. You got Zay Flowers was having a monster, right?
Yeah,
he's going
turbojets.
to be singled up, right? I mean, I wouldn't even mind taking a shot down the field to end it.
No, Andy, again, I couldn't agree with you more. And I'm looking at this. Hang on. It's 40-38. There's 1:51 to go, and Buffalo has all 3 timeouts. So let's think about this. Time is irrelevant.
Right.
Absolutely irrelevant. Like, if you don't get a first down, it is irrelevant. Irrelevant if you don't get a first down. So why would you not try to get a first down, especially going run, pass? You put it on one play. By the way, I was looking at the live betting on that. Every single time they ran, the live betting went down like crazy because you're just giving yourself one play to get a first down, a 3rd and 9. What are you doing? These are the things, and I could never be a coach, Anthony. I don't know X's, that's not my thing. But I understand strategy and gameplay, I think, is better than almost any coach in the sense that I understand the math of what you need to do is not to run, and make it 3rd and 9. It just angers me. I can't help it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude, I'm completely with you, man. I was saying the same thing last night. What a game, though. It was awesome.
What a game.
Josh
Allen's phenomenal.
Other things that stood out yesterday. Green Bay looked dominant.
Well, Anthony, it's funny. Yesterday was a very strange day for me. It had a chance to be one of my best days ever. Had the Rams big. I won every teaser I did. Had the Colts big. Had the Raiders big. Had the Jags big. Had the Giants under big. But my biggest bet by a zillion, which a zillion, it wiped away a lot of those profits. I was all in on the Giants getting 6.5. Man, that was a frustrating game to watch. I mean, they got inside the 5-yard line 3 times and didn't score. Russell Wilson looked as bad as, I guess he looked like Russell Wilson the last 2 years.
Dude, I don't even know what they're doing. They need to start Dart. Like I said that before.
It's funny. The defense played well enough to win. Because it was very hard. They just kept going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Put so much pressure on their defense, who I thought actually held up quite well. But man, I mean, that was a really, 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 really bad game for me. So, because that wiped away. I went really aggressive in that game. I really thought the Giants were going to win. But they
had chances to at least get.
Yeah, they did.
What was the line?
I took 6.5, and they were down 14-6. They had the ball.
Yeah,
they could have, the under won easily, but but the Packers, Anthony, listen, that's the team, and I was very intrigued by that division because I thought the Packers, even the Vikings, and the Lions had a chance to be the 3 best teams. I really like that division. We saw a Packers team that adds, it was a good team last year. Not good enough as the Eagles, obviously, but it was a good team last year. Adds arguably the best defensive player. We see him going against a team that went 15-2 and absolutely dominate them. You don't want to overreact on one game, but this is a team that clearly they were the second choice, Anthony, in the NFC behind the Eagles before week 1. Now they're much closer second choice. That team's going to be a problem if they're healthy.
Yeah, I know. Well, Golden
defensively,
I'm a big
really
Golden fan. And Matt, I loved him in Texas last year. I think he adds a different dynamic to them because now all of a sudden you have a true 1. helps your run game, helps your tight end who's good in Kraft. And then
Absolutely.
defensively, they were already top 5 in sacks last year, and you had Micah.
Yes, I
So,
agree.
they're pretty nasty. Hey, what do you like tonight? It's Bears Vikings. I like the game. I'm going to tell you later who I like.
Yeah, I do have a bet on the Vikings. I got them +2. Let me bring up the odds right now. I think they're around -1.5. Let me see. The Vikings are -1.5. Still on the Vikings side. I think the Vikings win the game. I do. I just trust
I tell you,
about the Vikings
Brad,
more.
I love the Vikings tonight. I love that. I think Flores, again, it's going to take time for Ben Johnson to get Caleb where he needs to
implement
be.
all his stuff, right?
Yeah. It's going to take time.
No,
and there's a lot, the Bears, a lot of Bears love because they do have some talent. But I can see the Bears being a second half team. I think
for sure.
I think tonight, I think McCarthy's almost irrelevant. I think it's a Flores night tonight. And I think he confuses that. I think he confuses Caleb. And I like the Vikings tonight.
Did bet DJ Moore's under in yards as a prop in that game. But yeah, I'm rooting again. I'm pretty nice size Vikings ticket in my pocket. We'll be rooting for them sure tonight. I'll give you a quick thing, Anthony, in baseball. A couple things I do like. You get the Cubs with Amanja, their only really good pitcher, and a pick against the Braves and Bryce Elder. Elder's pitched well his last couple starts, but man, I'll take the Cubs all day to pick there. I think that line's
especially
too
all
short.
those lefties.
I think it's a
he'll
good
kill
bet.
those
really
lefties. Yeah, those lefties.
And then
will kill
Miles
him.
Mikolas, who's like one of those, Miles Mikolas, like one of those Joe
Cardinals,
Blanton guys back in the day, innings eater who gives up a lot of hits.
Yeah.
His over-under for hits allowed today is 4.5 against the Seattle team. At least the last couple of days.
They'll get that. They can get that in the first inning.
Yeah, so I like those are the two things in baseball. I bet, and again, I do have the Vikings tonight, so hopefully they'll get done. The Eagles game, interesting game, guys. Next week, Eagles opened Anthony in VG as a 1.5 point dog in the opening, in the look ahead line. Now the Eagles are a 1.5 point favorite, 1.5 point favorite. So that line, based off how Kansas City looked against the Chargers. By the way, it's great to see Justin Herbert unleashed. He's always been a guy I think is incredible. I always feel like if he was on
here we go
situation to shine, he could, and I was really excited to see they actually let him do that. And he looked
well.
Really good.
You like football like I do, and we get killed for it because if you just say it, people roll their eyes. You and I both liked the Chargers the other night, and the VG was like, "Oh, you just celebrate your win."
Hey, I had the Chargers.
They deserved to win that game. They really did. I mean, they ended the play at the first half with the running Hampton when he didn't go out of bounds. Man, that cost him 3 points.
Yeah,
but Herbert was a stud. And again, by the way, your boy Thornton, Anthony, I thought of you. I'm like, Anthony said Thornton. I laughed at him catching 40-yard favorite passes, and I was like, I shouldn't have laughed that much. but anyway.
Hey, Brad, real quick.
I'm
a teaser guy. This is a nice teaser line for me. The Bears plus get you to 7.5. You like that with the over?
I like the Bears and teasers. I agree.
Okay.
Now I know I like the Viking, but again, those are two different things, Anthony. I know you're thinking rolling your eyes like, why would he do that? You can like a side, and you could also like their team. Basic strategy, the best teasers, when you go through the 3 and the 7, which is VG's talking about, he's taking the Bears, going through the 3 and through the 7. Those are called advantage teasers because they're the only teasers that have an advantage. Yes, that's a good bet.
All right, cool. Thanks.
They're going to lose by double digits. Great stuff as always. We'll get busy week. You're back in the fold. So we got
look
our
forward
show,
to it, guys. I always
Thursday
appreciate you guys
night.
so much.
We have our Bet Parks show where we go over the card Thursday night.
It's gonna be Thursday night.
Yep. So I'm
excited.
Lots to do, baby. All right, brother.
All right. Appreciate you guys so much.
See you, pal. There he is, the brain.
We're such a bitter bunch. Like someone's tweeting out Bryce Huff's contributions yesterday. 0 sacks, 0 pressures, 0 tackles, 1 offside.
That's great. That's great. All right. Before we go to Murph, it's a Murphy Monday. Before we go to Murph, let's take care of some of our business, shall we? We got to talk about the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app, who the brain is the ambassador of the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. It's all there now. Like, you got a window, got a big game tonight. So the big game tonight, and what is it tonight?
The Vikings Bears?
Yeah.
Vikings are minus 1.5. Over under's 43.5.
43.5.
So I'm going to tease on Bet Parks. I'm teasing the Bears to 7.5, and then the over to 36.5.
Oh, you're going to go Bears and over?
Yeah.
I don't know, bro.
Ben Johnson, baby. You saw how bad the Lions were without him?
Yeah.
I believe in Ben.
Yeah, but Flores is good, man. Yeah. I like the Vikings.
JJ McCarthy mystery.
I like the Vikings. I like the Vikings on the heels of their defense.
I think they'll win. I'm just taking the T 7.5. I like.
All right. There you
Phillies
go.
dogs today.
So what is the line here tonight? It's McLean, who pitched so well against him. I told you about that kid. He's got great stuff. This was the matchup against Nola. McLean looked great. Another spot for Nola against the Mets.
Over. Bet the over.
What is the
Mets are minus 122. Phillies are plus 104. Over under is 8.5. Juice is on the over.
I just get scared of Nola against that lineup, right? Because all the lefties. I worry about Nola against lefties, and you got Lindor, who's a switch hitter. You got Soto, right? They got McNeil. They got Beatty. Right? They have a bunch of lefties. Mullins is a lefty. I'm worried about Nola tonight.
I'm trying to see if I get the batting average of the current Mets versus Aaron Nola.
I worry about
279.
Yeah, that's not good.
Pete Alonso's hitting 327 and 55 at bats. You might as well bet Alonso to go yard.
Oh God, yeah. I don't want. Listen, my wants are I think pretty moderate. I just want a split. 4 games.
I'm 100% with you.
Just give me a split.
Yeah, let them leave 7 games back.
If it's 7 games, they can't do any damage.
No.
The only thing I worry about is if they lose tonight, then it's a head thing too.
Yeah, then they start stressing, tighten up grip on the bats a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway, it's all there on the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. The brain gave you all the plays. Check it out. All right. There's always another way to win with the casino games. VG does all the what slots you on?
I'm back to Cleopatra this weekend. Go back to the old standard.
New customers get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down the first 24 hours. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. You got to be 21. BetParks.com has all the details. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, let's talk Xfinity Sports. Yes. So yesterday, because of the rain, we were postponed baseball.
Oh.
We had a game.
Didn't rain much here.
The field was a mess. It rained like all morning.
Oh, wow.
So they canceled the rest of the tournament.
Gotcha.
And, can I tell you I didn't hate it? Like, I got to watch football, and I got the Xfinity Sports set up, all right? Unlike VG, it was a total mess. Lagging, buffering, switching between apps, trying to find a game, all right? I wasn't fanfish because I got Xfinity. All right. It's the ultimate sports destination. I got the best games and all my teams all in one place. And the way I watch it is next level. The perfect fan flex. All the action right here in our living room. Xfinity's best picture and sound, enhanced 4K. It's so clear. You feel like you're in the stadium. All right. I had the 4-game box going on because why not? On top of that, I got real-time notifications, live stats right on my TV. Best seat in the house. All right, every time. Next game day, make sure the big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more, Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K capable TV box. Now, let's go to our man on a Murphy Monday, the great columnist from the Inquirer, David Murphy.
It's time for our man, David Murphy.
Good morning, my man. Murph, what do you say, buddy? You're muted. Yep.
Every week, one of these days, I'll remember that.
I was just thinking, this is every week with him.
Yeah, it's all right.
What's up? How you guys doing?
Good, buddy. Good. So I want to ask you where you want to start. Do you want to start Eagles or Phillies?
Let's go Eagles because I NFL Week 1 is that first Sunday is my favorite day of the year, and I love just setting up. I can't imagine having to skip it for U Sports or something like that. I mean, it's a tradition unlike any other.
Someday you will. Someday.
I know, but we got
when your
we
buddy,
got the
when your little boy Max is playing baseball and he's playing fall ball or he's playing football, you're done.
Yeah, no doubt. But until then, I'm going to soak it in. And you got the 2 TV set up. You got the I usually go 2 games on the main TV, then 4 games on the 4 box on the secondary TV. But I had a Giants fan in the house yesterday, so we gave the Giants. Man, they look awful.
Yeah, they do.
Well, that's because Russ blows.
Yeah, he stinks. I can't believe that they're rolling that out there. I mean, what is there to gain? Just run Jackson Dart out there. So cut Russell. Don't worry about him in the locker room. Keep Jameis around, and it's just astounding to me. I mean, it's the same old thing.
I don't know.
He looks horrible.
He does. He's done. He's done.
But dude, there's something more. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know if you guys saw it. It was like it had to have been the first quarter still, where Brian Dable went to give Malik Neighbors a high five.
Yes.
Neighbors couldn't even be brought around to acknowledging the guy's presence. It was the most awkward thing in the entire world. So there's something going on there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would be stunned if Dart isn't starting next week because Dable's clock is ticking, man. I mean, he is the classic. If there's a chance you could fire the guy before midseason, the next season, just fire him in the offseason because he's always going to get fired during the season.
But you know what's funny? I'll be honest with you. I don't put this whole thing on Dable. I
don't either.
Dable was a very good coach. He was terrific as the OC in Buffalo. I thought his GM flubbed a lot. They didn't have. I mean, their O-line was horrible.
I'm with you, and it's the O-line. And my second big observation from yesterday was, I'll tell you what, man, Colts looked really good. They were one of the most impressive teams I watched yesterday. I watched a lot of that game. I mean, speaking of train wrecks, that Dolphins organization.
Well, they stink.
He might be the first coach fired. They keep playing
and you know
that.
what? Same thing with Dable, where I don't put it on him. But dude, I've said this for a long time. The Dolphins are low key one of the most dysfunctional organizations in professional football, and they don't necessarily get the rap that the Raiders or the Jets do. But that team has been bad for so long, and they just make so many bad decisions.
And Tua stinks. I'm sorry.
He does.
I think Tua stinks. I never got the Tua love. I never got it. I don't understand it. He stinks.
Yep, I'm with you. But look, Dimes, I'll tell you what, that Giants line was so bad. I've always been a guy who was curious to see what Danny Dimes looks like a little bit behind, decent protection. And, we saw yesterday with Russ, that line is just, they've been bad for 5 or 6 years now, and the Colts aren't as good as they have always been up front, but they're so much better than the Giants. And the results were just so obvious to see. Dimes looked great. Colts looked great. I'm interested to see what that team does. I mean, I'm not talking Super Bowl, but I think they looked, in terms of what I was expecting versus what I saw, the delta there was as big as any team I watched yesterday.
Yeah. I graded them a little bit on the curve because of the Dolphins. Yeah. But they certainly look. Listen, they got weapons too. You got Pittman, right? You got Jonathan Taylor.
Josh Downs, a good receiver. Tyler Warren. I tell you what,
Warren's a stud, man. Warren's going to be great.
They made him a focal point yesterday,
and they should. They were smart.
But the Eagles,
listen, I still think Steichen's the better coach. I've always thought it. I thought Steichen was better than Gannon, and I think he'll have success.
I agree. But look, the Eagles. I think my biggest takeaway after watching all these teams. And I wrote this today. Eagles are far and away the best team in the National Football League, and not that anybody had any doubt about that. But I think last night's Bills Ravens game is really kind of a testament to why. Because the problem with the Eagles is you have to play a perfect game to beat them. Like you can beat them, but you got to make all the catches. You can't have couple CD Lamb drops. You got to take advantage. You can't have any fumbles, can't have any turnovers. You just got to play so perfect. Whereas like teams like even like the Bills and the Ravens, the Bills especially, they're relying on Josh Allen to be Superman to win a game. Whereas what the Eagles do is so simple and so repeatable that like, you just got like they're just just like a road grader, where there's not a lot of moving parts, so it's not very complex. So they can just beat you every time, and you have to get lucky and stop them on third down and then take advantage of all their opportunities. But as great as that game was last night, I came away from it thinking that like, Eagles are just by far the most complete team in the National Football League.
Yeah, I guess I don't put much like I don't watch I don't watch it through the prism of Eagles versus the AFC because that kind of takes that like that'll take care of itself. Whoever's there,
Yeah, it's more about the kind of team the Eagles are. Like
but the Eagles beat both teams last year. Remember they beat Buffalo, they beat Baltimore.
Yeah, they killed.
Well, Baltimore was a game, but they went down and they out physicaled Baltimore. What excites me about the Eagles is their defense, right? I think their defense could be better than both those defenses we saw last night, and that's with a lot of respect. But the Ravens secondary, they got issues in that secondary.
I'm with you, man. And that's the whole point. Is like even when they played Baltimore last year, they just crushed them up front, and when you can do that on both sides of the ball, it just takes so much of the variance out of the game. Like you're not, you can win a game where AJ Brown and Devontae Smith get 4 targets. You don't need Jalen Hurts to be Superman. You don't need. They're just so simple and so well. They just have so many fundamental pieces from the defense, to the offensive line, to Saquon being able to finish runs, and Hurts being able to kind of get them 4 or 5 first downs a game that they wouldn't ordinarily get with another quarterback. It's just that their floor every week is so low their floor is so high that you just force opponents into having to like you got to play a perfect game in order to beat them, and that's a tough way to go through an NFL season.
I agree with you. I'm with you. And here's the thing: the Eagles' defense is only going to get better as the year goes on. There was no Carter. Now you signed Zadarius Smith for edge depth, right? Campbell is going to who looks like a stud, right? Is going to get better. You got Q and Coop who are just ascending players. Nolan Smith, ascending players. You got one spot, and it's CB2. And if you get any kind of footing there with maybe Bennett, their defense is going to be like unstoppable.
I'm with you, man, and I think that's why it's like, look, very rare is a team that doesn't have one corner who's a bit of a liability. Like it's a tough. It's just kind of one of those spots where you kind of have to rely on everybody else to make up for whatever you're lacking at CB2. And I think to your point, they're going to get there by the end of the year, where all those between learning to play together and Campbell developing and the edge rush. Hopefully finding a little bit of footing, and then obviously Carter was the biggest thing in the world there, and then you combine the new safety, the communication that it takes in the secondary. I think they're going to get there.
And I like Makuba, man. He was always. I saw the tape. Yeah. He was around the ball. He's around the ball, man.
But that's like a lot of what we saw in Week 1 from the Eagles is what every team saw. My other biggest thing that I saw over these last 4 or 5 days was how unimproved the Chiefs look. The line looks a lot better, the protection looks a lot better, but dude, they just don't have the weapons right now, which is crazy to say. But
you lost. You're without Rice, then you lost Worthy early in the game, so you lost your 2 best. You're down your 2 top receivers, and there's so much you're going to do with Hollywood Brown and Travis Kelce.
Well, but I'll say this. Yeah, look, Rashee Rice is a very good player, obviously, but he's not a guy that's a field stretcher. He's a guy that
Worthy is.
He is, but the lack of the lack of a downfield when you've got a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes who can make like the throw that Allen made last night to Shakir in the second quarter
Yeah.
when they drove down for the field goal and he's rolling left across his body and he throws it 40 yards, 35 yards in the air on a rope.
Yeah, and Shakir kind of does a loop to where the
Yeah.
spot was.
That's the element that's been like missing to me from as someone who's watched the Chiefs a ton since Andy Reid's been there. That's the element that they always had, that Mahomes always used to be able to change the game with, that they haven't for whatever
Well,
reason.
ever since Tyreek Hill, when Tyreek Hill left, they had trouble.
Yeah.
They had trouble. Now, I will say this because Worthy is that guy. I mean, Worthy's legit.
Yeah,
speed.
I don't know if I'll go there. I don't know if I would go that far yet.
I think so, but we'll see.
Well,
And
again,
he was out. He was out of the game early, so
But I'm also comparing him to. I mean, look, there's a huge difference between guys like Rashee Rice, even, and AJ Brown and CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson, and that whole tier of receivers where. Look, Xavier Worthy to me is never going to be anything more than a guy you like as a good number 2. Like he's not going to beat AJ.
Well, no, but it's not AJ Brown. But you said that speed threat. I'm just telling you that's what he is.
Yeah, but he's not. Yeah, well, regardless, the point is, I'm not talking about deep balls. I'm talking about those 25-yard Josh Allen completions in the middle of the field, downfield. You just don't see them. The Chiefs used to do that all the time. Like, yeah, you had Tyreek Hill going deep. But Mahomes would just
well, that was Kelsey that he would. I mean, you're talking about the Kelsey play down.
Yeah, well, they don't have it. Whatever it is, they don't have it. And
yeah, listen, I agree with you. I'm not overly worried about them. I think you and I are lockstep with how good this Eagles team is.
Yeah, and it's great to say. It's amazing to say after a game which they probably should have lost. And certainly raised some questions. But when you can have a game like that and still come away with it, feeling like now I believe more than ever this team is the best team in the NFL, then you got something good going on.
Yeah. What'd you think of it? Now, again, it's week 1. I think there's a clear number 2 because I'm not in love with Washington. I don't think Washington's that tough. I think Green Bay's legit.
Yeah, I mean, that defense, especially against a quarterback that has kind of owned them over the years. Again, that's one of those week 1 matchups where you don't really know what you're looking at because it's like, all right, is Green Bay this good, or are the Lions missing Ben Johnson this bad, or are they missing Frank Ragnow that bad? Like it's hard to tell what, But yes, the defense.
Yeah, they're missing Ragnow. Their whole issue starts up front. I mean,
right.
Green Bay stops Gibbs and Montgomery, holds them 20 carries, 44 yards.
Yep. But I think, and look, I know Greg will roll his eyes, but if you looked at Justin Herbert play and did not see a quarterback that you would take only over a handful of guys in the league, then I don't know what you're looking at. I mean, the Chargers.
I'm going to keep quiet. I'm going to keep quiet here.
The Chargers.
I already got shrapnel earlier in the show.
Chargers to me could easily be the second best team in the NFL by the end of it.
Here we go.
But,
this is what Murphy does. He likes to poke the bear.
I'm just throwing it out there.
You wearing khakis today, Murphy?
On the
you got khakis on?
Well, khaki. I got sweatpants like I do every day.
Are they khaki in color?
Oh, for the Harbs?
Yeah. Yes.
Look, man. Anytime you got a lunatic like that as your head coach, you got a chance. I thought Quentin Johnson looked really good too in that game.
Well, he finally caught the ball. I mean, he was a guy with pizza board hands.
I know he was awful last year, but he looked. And look, again, it's week 1. A lot of this stuff is going to sound ridiculous,
Yeah.
But if you're talking about just kind of the general outlook of the league, which is kind of what we're thinking about now, because since we all agree that the Eagles number 1, I guess the point is, I really do think it's them in one tier, and then you're talking about who's the best of the next tier is what it comes down to.
Yep.
Steelers moving up in a tier with that Aaron Rodgers play yesterday.
I mean, he played well, but I mean, I was shocked that their defense looked horrible.
Yes.
That was
Justin Fields.
They look a little slow.
Yeah.
That was a weird game. There's a lot of weird stuff. I mean, The Patriots were one of the biggest disappointments for me yesterday.
All that Patriot love.
Not a lot. I mean,
Drake May.
Oh well, Drake May's Drake May. I'm a Drake May truther. He's going to be legit, but they're not. They're still a year away. I mean, their over under was like 8.5 wins this year.
Yeah,
I mean,
I thought it was crazy. Crazy.
People were all over them.
Yeah,
I mean, the
was all
Broncos.
under them.
I think Cam Ward impressed me. Everything I've seen out of him, I think he's going to be all right. And then, but again, like Broncos, I don't know. I mean, Bo Nix, you're still going to have to sell me on Bo Nix. The Lions look like they've taken a step back. The Packers, it might be the Packers. It might be the Packers as the team that you have to worry about the most.
Falcons Bucks was a good game. Michael Penix looked good.
Yeah. How about Wu missing the field goal?
Oh, I know. He's money usually.
Yeah, that was I mean, he didn't just miss it. He missed it.
Yeah, he did.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think. Look, those two teams again.
By the way, Igbuka could play.
Oh yeah,
yeah, he's good, man. That guy's good.
Yeah.
How did he fall to them?
What?
How did he fall?
Yeah. I know.
It's
great pick. All right, let's go to Phillies. All right, we got a lot to cover with the Phillies. Monster Series. Trey is a worry because of the hamstring. Let's talk about Trey Turner first before we get to the Mets. So with Turner, how do you approach it?
Well, I mean, I think it all depends. I mean, the first question is how, and they're not going to probably tell us this, but
the severity. It's getting an MRI today.
How long? Because these hammies are as someone who's pulled my hammy before, they're everyone knows that they're I think something that can linger. I mean, we saw it with Nico Collins last year with the Texans. I mean, they're you never really know. It takes time. It's like a calf a little bit,
Yeah.
And I think Trey happens to play a position where if you're the DH or a corner outfielder, you might be able to get away with playing at less than 100% and forcing your way back. But I just don't know with the way the contortions and angles involved at shortstop. I just don't know that he's going to be able to come back before he's like actually 100%. So that's a big question. And I think that you have to think about, look, I don't think Aiden Miller will be called up. I don't know that he should be called up. He's a guy that has profiled as a third baseman, corner infielder type that happens to be playing shortstop. So I don't know that they will feel comfortable throwing a 21-year-old into a defensive position like that at this stage of the year. But the kid does have an 1,100 OPS with as many walks as strikeouts in his last 31 games. And he's legit. I have as much confidence in him at some point becoming an impact regular as any prospect that they've had, since I've been covering the team. That being said, so if you have a 6 to 8 week situation where you're worried that Turner could actually miss the playoffs, you might not have a choice but to YOLO and bring Miller up and hope that you can catch lightning in a bottle. Anything short of that, I think it's Stott, so it's some combination of Stott, Sosa, and it's just another one that kind of makes you wonder if this just isn't going to be the year for them.
Oh, here it goes. This is it. Now the chess. What are you saying? And this isn't going to be the year for them. Come on.
I mean, at some point,
you can't say stuff like that, Murph. We don't want to hear stuff like that yet. It's too soon, too early.
Well, again, if Turner's back, that's fine. But at some point, if you lose your best reliever in Alvarado, you lose your best, one of your three quality above average hitters in Trey Turner, you lose Nola to wherever he's gone, you lose Wheeler. Like at some point, it gets to a point where you're like, man, what next? Like how many holes are you going to need to plug? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, I mean, what do you think? What are you going to think? Do you really want Sosa out there for,
No,
14?
I mean, I'm trying to stay present in the moment until we get some information on this hamstring. I think the good thing is it's not the hamstring he had issues with last year, which is somewhat promising. And I don't know, maybe the Miller kid can play second base.
I'm with you. Put it this way, if they brought Adam Miller up tomorrow, I would be 100% on board with it. I know enough to have no idea whether he's going to embarrass himself, defensively when he's out there, and really it all depends on what their reports are. I would say if their reports are that they think he can handle big league second base or a big league shortstop, even average to slightly below, bring them up, because you're going to have to probably get lucky to win. That's my only point with Turner, where it's like, you got to be realistic, like you can be optimistic, but look, I always say hope is not a strategy. You got to be realistic, and you can't just hope that
Yeah,
Turner
I hear you.
will fill in. At some point you got to take the world by the horns, and you'd rather die standing up than live on your knees. Like, come on, bring them up and see what happens.
Hey, what do you? Let's dive into Mets. All right, because now you're right. Like, no Turner. It's a big key series. You're up 7, so you got a healthy lead. All you really need is a split. You get a split, you're good.
Mhm.
You're going to wind up. They're not coming back from a 7-game deficit. If you get a split here, anything, you just can't have a disaster. You
Mhm.
can't have a Mets come in here and get hot again. All right, that's the last thing you need.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have exactly. The only thing that could really change, change the outlook is if they get swept. I would say, right?
Right.
Because then all of a sudden you're talking about, you go from 7 with 17 to what, 4 with 14. That's a lot more manageable, And look, we'll see. We'll find out if this team can mentally buck up a little bit, because they're going to need to beat this Mets team. It's just it's just the same old story every time you watch. It's just about, and you can tell that they're in their own heads a little bit about it.
I know, and I'm curious because here you get the matchups. Like, so tonight, the first game is Nola against McClain, the kid McClain who pitched so well against them last time, who's got great stuff.
Yeah, they got no shot tonight. I mean, it's that kid, unless that kid suddenly can't find the strike zone, I just don't see how they win this game. He was that good, and they were that bad against him, and he's the exact kind of pitcher that keeps them off balance, and kind of repeats his success against them. And I'm not, look, I think that's realistic. I don't think that's fatalistic. I mean, look, how could you possibly have faith that they will win tonight, especially given what Nola has given you thus far this season?
I know, I hear you. And against, those lefties give him trouble. You got to deal with Lindor. You got to deal with Soto. You got, Beatty and McNeil and Mullins. I mean, they have a lot of lefties that you got to deal with. Now, it gets better because then it's Ranger against Minaya. You just got to hope that the Phillies aren't befuddled by Minaya again like they were last time.
You do have to hope that. You can hope, but I'm not going to believe until it's got no point where I'm not going to believe until I actually see it. And that, I think, again, that I'm with you. That's kind of the crux game, because you also have a guy on the mound who, could get you through a game like that, even if Minaya is kind of stymieing you. It's probably going to take, a run or two over 7 or 8 innings from Ranger to really give them, really get them to the finish line. And I think I will say this: Minaya has not been. He's been a little shaky since he came back from the.
He has, except the Phillies. He was great, he was bad except against the Phillies. You're right. Then you got your best shot is Wednesday.
Right.
And that's Sanchez against Holmes.
Yes. And look, man, this is where I didn't realize this was a 4-game series. I thought this was a 3-game. So yeah, 3. I mean, look, 3 out of 4, you don't want to do that either. But Sanchez is and this is how important he is. You look at that and you realize how much of a classic stopper he has become, because as little confidence as I have tonight, and marginally more tomorrow. You look at that game and you're like, all right, they're not going to get swept in 4. They're at least going to win 1. And I think that to your credit, or to your point, that is absolutely the game that they will. And it's good that it's coming in the middle of the series, because it, can kind of stop the slide. You don't want to win. You don't want to lose 3 straight going into game 4.
No, and 4, Lizard who pitched well against them, but you got the other lefty, Peterson, who that gives. And it's the only thing, even during this stretch where they played such great baseball, the only thing that concerned me, the 2 games against the Brewers, they wound up winning one of them because they won 2 or 3 in the series, but they Quintana shut them down, and so did Peralta. They had to rally late.
Well, and like Peralta, you expect it, that guy's.
But lefties, those lefties that can mix it up,
And it's funny because it's crazy because it spans generations. And like that 08 team, there was a guy named Jaime Garcia
I remember him
for the Cardinals who used to just shut them down. And Jose Quintana is very much like just that guy. There's a million other of them where you're just like, oh wow, this is the exact guy that's gonna shut this team down. And it's maddening, but I guess that's what you get when you're built out of lefty sluggers, Yeah,
because listen, 08 was the same thing. They were a dead red team, right?
Yeah.
The minute you didn't get the fastball is when they struggled, and it was like that. Arizona, when Arizona started to pitch them backwards, it flipped the series.
Yeah, and it's one thing I will say in that Brewers series is case in point. The Dodger series a while ago, Cubs series. They have this team. The one thing they have going for them is they have the ability to they're better than the sum of their parts in big games. It feels like a lot of times, and it's why that Brewers series. I think you can take a ton of mental reinforcement from that series because you watch. This was the hottest team in the majors, team that it plays baseball the right way, and kind of like is one of those scrappy, whatever. And the Phillies went toe to toe for him and out scrapped them, and I think that's it's huge. Again, Greg, I totally feel you. I was trying to say the season was over. I think in spite of everything that they've kind of gone through with injuries and suspensions, you're never going to be able to count this team out because of that kind of X factor. And I think that they just have to they have to get rid of the anti-X factor, which is the Mets. They really got to shake that monkey off the back these 4 games. And you could look back and be like, this was the series that kind of turned things around and propelled them because they kind of got the monkey off the back and beat the Mets and kind of slayed that demon. But it could also go the opposite where you're all of a sudden they're fighting for a 3 or 4 game lead by the end of it.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, even if they get swept, they still. I'm looking. Even if they're swept, which I don't think that's happening, they still got a 3-game lead, which is substantial. But I don't know. I'm with Anthony today. I think 2-2. We get out of here 2-2. They get some confidence back, and
that's all you need to do. You just can't lose 3 or 4 or 4 or 4. That's. But I disagree. If they do that, it totally that totally changes everything, and
only if the Mets are playing the Phillies for the next 20 games because the only team they beat is the Phillies.
Yeah, but if this team goes from 7 up with 17 to play to 3 up with 13 to play, I don't know. I disagree.
With no Trey Turner.
I think that's the kind of thing that can.
Yeah,
this is what Murphy does to us on Mondays.
I don't want to say
this is the void he sucks us into.
Getting swept, man.
My whole point is, I'm agreeing with you guys. I'm saying all you got to do is take 2 out of 2. Like you can't. You're not sitting here. They don't need to win 3 or 4. But they just have to avoid losing 3 or 4 or 4 or 4. And I don't think they will. I think
even losing 3 or 4, it's still just 6. No, it's 5.
Look. It's mathematically, they should be fine. I still
5
think
with 13.
I think they psychologically.
Yeah, the problem is though, if the Dodgers start playing well, they're going to probably end up facing the Mets in the playoffs.
Yeah, but you still got the Dodgers by 4.
Right.
And the Dodgers playing.
Psychologically, they need this more than the math and the standings. They psychologically.
I would agree with that.
You're right.
We all need it. We all need it psychologically.
I agree.
I need a lot more than that, but
yeah, I agree. I'm with you. I'm completely with you. All right, brother. What do you work? Like, what's your schedule? You're going to be at Phillies?
Phillies. Kind of alternating back and forth between Phillies and Eagles, but yeah, Phillies. you know, it's getting to the point where that's this time of year. Yeah, I think this is as big a series as it gets.
Yeah, there it is.
All things considered.
September, Mets.
Here you go. Before you leave, Murphy, we got a quote from in the chat room. It says, Murphy doesn't do the deed, but he sets up the warm bath and razor blades for us.
This is you guys are kind of telling on yourself, because I'm not doing any of that. You're the ones who are jumping in. Yeah,
exactly.
You guys have such weak psyches that you have to block out anything that might invite thoughts of darkness, and that's not on me. That's on you and your therapist.
As the sun beams through his window.
Hey, I said it, man. Buddy. I believe in them, but if they lose 3 out of 4, I don't believe in them anymore.
All right, brother. You're the man. We love you. Have a great week. We'll be reading you, buddy. We'll talk to you next Monday. Murphy Monday.
See ya.
See you, buddy. He cracks me up.
Oh, yeah. I love Murph.
All right. Let's take care of some of our business. And then we got a special announcement. I'm really excited because we need more general programming on PHLY. And I'm excited to tell everybody.
Yeah, this is going to be fun.
Because he's great. And we'll tell you who it is who's going to be having a general program on the network. We're excited. And we're going to do a thing called where we count down the worst fans in Philadelphia. Fans we want no part of.
Right.
So I want him to sit in with that because of the Phillies Karen over the weekend. I hated this lady. I mean, before it all came out, I saw the first thing. I was like, this lady, I can't stand her.
I can't. I'm with you. But I kind of, I
no.
only love her now because of the content that's been created online is hysterical.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
It's created such fun moments over the internet.
All right, I got you. You live on it too. Let's talk about the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. All right, football season is here. Bet Parks, football season, football. It's big game tonight. Minnesota, Chicago. The football's just so good. It's just amazing how great it is. Like every year we wait for it. It never disappoints, man. It's just like last night was just riveting.
Last night was amazing.
It was just riveting. Like I was doing some work because I had the games on, and I was like, I'm not doing anything. I just watched that game. It was just so.
Did you hear Josh Allen afterwards take a little dig at the fans who left?
Yeah, well, they did. They left. By the way, that wouldn't happen in Philadelphia, Josh.
No.
They don't leave.
No.
So we'll get into all that stuff, but it's fantastic. Game tonight, Minnesota, Chicago. I love the Vikings tonight. I just look at the way they're going to defend Chicago, the way they're going to defend Caleb Williams. It's going to take Ben Johnson a minute. And he knows it. And they're going to be a second half team. I know there's going to be a lot of Bears love. Like this dude.
I like plus 7.5. That's Bears love.
Well, I don't understand the mentality. Like if I'm you, I would.
Here's my mentality.
I would take the Vikings.
I look at this.
If you think the Vikings are going to win the game, then why wouldn't you just do the Vikings?
Here's why. Because the line is thin. I would expect this to be a 3-point line.
I don't think so. On the road?
Yeah.
With an unknown quarterback?
The Bears? Yes.
And the Bears getting all kinds of love?
I disagree with you. Well, I think it's a thin line, so it makes the Bears, I think it's going to be a close game. And I'll take the 7.5.
Just trying to tell you.
If I take the Vikings in a tease, it only gives me 5.5. And I want to get over the 7-point hurdle.
If you think the Vikings are going to win, you would take.
I do, but the lines got me second guessing myself.
You're reading.
You got to read the lines.
Your line is you're reading.
I read palms, tea leaves, and lines. Leaves and lines.
Don't read lines. You think you read lines? You don't. I'm telling you, it's not a.
Did you cash on that 10-point teaser I gave you this weekend at college football? That hit.
Did you?
Yeah.
10-point teaser.
Yeah, man. 3 teams, 10 points.
Don't do
cash money.
All right, you can do all that stuff with the Bet Parks. My advice is don't do that on the game tonight.
Oh, and I just found out during the
Vikings.
live last night at Bet Parks, the line for the Bills was 40-1 at one point.
Wow.
Yes.
40-1?
Live betting, yes.
Holy moly. You imagine that? Not bad.
Mm-mm.
Not bad. Check it out. They have everything. So all the games, Phillies, Mets, right? I don't know. I think it's a stay away. Brain did give you a couple baseball stuff. He liked Seattle against St. Louis. So you can check those out. They have it all. And on all the slots. VG's a slotsman. He plays all those slots. What do you got?
Cleopatra this weekend.
Cleopatra,
Yeah.
that's right.
Baccarat. I went to the old faithfuls. Baccarat, Cleopatra.
Nice.
Use that teaser winnings.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
Double it up on
Yeah.
Baccarat.
There you go. Well, you can check all that out. It's right there on the app. BetParks.com has all the details. Like you give all kinds of odds boost, everything happening. New customers get to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down the first 24 hours. BetParks.com has all the details. You got to be 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Let's talk about True Mark. You know, the kids are back at school. Maybe they got a little money from a summer job this weekend. Maybe they got a part-time job. Maybe you hit the Trash Man teasers and you share a little of your winnings with your kids. So now's the perfect time to help them get some real-world money skills. Give them a little bit of freedom, and that's the Greenlight debit card and money app, because if you're a TrueMark financial member, this cool account, the Greenlight account, is totally free for your kids or teens. And it's a really simple, cool way to help them manage their own money, whether it's from a job, birthday cash, allowances, all that stuff. They get their own debit card, can set savings goals, track spending, learn how to budget, all while you stay in the loop from your phone. So you're still in control, but they get to learn how money really works in everyday life. So before they spend all that money, this is a great way to help your kids build these smart money habits that'll stick with them long after the summer and fall and winter is over, well into adulthood. So head over to truemark.com/greenlight, get all the details and sign up today. And don't miss this chance to set your kids up for some financial success. truemark.com/greenlight.
Greenlight. We love Kelly's all fired up. All right, joining us.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about the new show here on the All PHLY network, because you need another general show. And joining us from the All PHLY Flyers show, does it get better than Bill Matz?
No, Bill Matz.
Billy!
Nothing like an Anthony Gargano intro to start my morning. What's up today,
I
gentlemen?
mean, I'm fired up.
I am fired up
For
as
some
well.
Bill Matz.
I am fired up as well. We are launching today, Philadelphia, right here at 1:30 on the PHLY network. I am really excited about this.
Philadelphia.
Something I've wanted to do for a while. Yeah,
Love it.
Yeah, I love Philadelphia. Listen, you are terrific on the Flyers, but you got more to say. Now, you're not leaving the Flyers. So
No.
everybody knows.
No,
You would never leave the Flyers.
I have told the bosses they will take that show away from my cold, dead hands.
Right.
Until, of course, they win the Stanley Cup. Then I'm done. Then I'm never coming back. I'm going to go out on Broad Street. No one ever sees me again.
But I love it because you'll be doing Flyers and Philadelphia.
Yes. Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've wanted to do something like this here for a while since, it's almost 2 years since our launch. And I see what you're doing and just want a little bit more of that connectivity with the fans, like be able to interact, have some fun, talk about more than just the Flyers, the
Great
chat.
chat.
Yeah, that's so I'm really looking forward to being able to do this and get some more of my takes out there and just chat with Tyler about the Phillies, all sorts of stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for it, man. I mean,
I can't wait.
You're a big personality. You're a lot of fun. I mean, you know how I feel about you. I mean, I love our staff here. I mean, everybody at this place, I love them. I love working with them. You and Charlie and, all of our great Sixers people with Kyle and Devon and Derek, right? Tyler on the Phillies.
Really an opportunity to get to work with everybody else a little bit more, which is cool.
Franny, everybody, man. And our great production team headed by our own Julia Hoff. Like, they're just Brenna and Bree. I mean, they're great. I just love them.
Yeah, it's
Kelly.
Oh, there
Yeah.
we have an all-star cast of people here, and I'm going to get to be able to feature them a little bit more than just focusing on the Flyers. So that's going to be great. It's another opportunity for everybody.
All right, I'm excited. So 1:30 today it debuts,
Yes.
and every day,
Every day,
Philadelphia.
Monday to Friday, 1:30, a 30-minute show. It's going to be a little bit of a faster pace where we're going to try to hit as many things as we can each day. Mostly sports. I want to throw in a little bit of other stuff. Maybe we
wrestling,
get some
maybe?
wrestling in.
Yeah,
That's
that's what I'm
people have
talking
wanted
about.
wrestling for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm finally going to be able to get to do it. Just a little, Ant. Just a little
Ah,
for
go
that
for it.
for that audience.
Listen, Philadelphia, I think it's great.
Yeah,
You should do it. I'm all for it. You got my blessing. Listen, you know, you have my blessing for everything. I wanted you to do the show, so I wanted you to do it your way.
It's just everything that's kind of going on in my world a little bit.
Love
Get to
it.
Feature the fans. So that's going to be great.
I think it's great. I cannot wait. I'll be watching every day, 1:30, Philadelphia. Make sure you're hanging out. While you're here, I wanted to have a little fun
Oh, absolutely.
because you are a man of fun. So over the weekend, we saw what happened at the Marlins game where that poor man is able to get a baseball. Now, the foul ball happens. It's his scrum, right? It's nobody's ball. It's not like somebody had the ball and then they snatched it from it. It was just there. He was quick hands.
He didn't throw no elbows,
No.
nothing. Didn't
He
push
just
anybody.
reached in, grabbed the ball, went over back to where he was sitting, and gave it to his son, who was celebrating his birthday.
And it was just
Right?
such a good father-son moment.
It
Like,
was
yeah.
beautiful.
Freeze
The
on that
son,
and just-
he hugged him, and as a dad, it was amazing. And then the Wicked Witch of the South came, right? The Phillies Karen, as she is known, comes over and berates this poor man. All right? Berates him to the point where she was making such a scene that he just gives her the ball just to get away from his family.
Yes.
Because his family was there. And listen, he did the right thing because she was a wicked, horrible human being
Yes.
who was making a scene, who's everything wrong with the me society. This woman, shrew that she is, ruined, and she
was so happy walking away with the ball. Like
Yeah.
she so felt like so
Yeah.
vindicated. Like
felt
she did.
important.
Yes.
Like, just stand there.
Yes.
She's
I
a
win.
Horrible,
Yes.
horrible woman. Horrible. Just a horrible woman. And he did the right thing because you know what? She's the type of woman that doesn't get out of your face, right? And you just gotta just sit there and sit on your hands and your mouth.
He
you're-
basically put his hands up. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
like,
hey,
listen.
I'm not, let's
he did the
de-escalate.
right thing because it would have been ugly, right? You would have been ugly. She was horrible. Inciting you, the worst. Because if she was a dude, she gets knocked out, right? Like, that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
So she did the right thing. The Marlins did the right thing. They got the kid to get a baiter ball, the whole thing. It worked out fine. But she was awful.
Yes, absolutely awful. That's like watching that unfold. It's always like, what would I do in that situation? And it's so hard to put yourself in the shoes because, like, I just think of going to games with my old man and how there is a 0% chance we don't leave with that ball. But
Right.
that dude did the right thing and it paid off.
Put her
Doing
on
the right
on the
thing.
screen. Put her on the screen, Jules.
Jules.
Look at the hate the face. She's an ultimate hate the face.
Oh, just, yeah.
She's a hate the face.
I'm so
They're
happy.
calling her
it worked out.
Cruella de Fils.
Yeah,
Cruella
Cruella
de
de
Fils.
Fils is
That's
great.
excellent. That's excellent.
But long ago, 25 years ago, we used to do the violations. We started.
yes.
You became Violations Greg.
Yes.
Because we did violations all the time. Mikey Miss and I invented violations. And that was why. Because it was his right ball.
I
rightly
just want to
so.
know what her claim to this ball is.
Right.
And
Right.
by the way, you're an adult.
That's
this
the-
was a child.
And this isn't, if Schwarber hits 50 or so, all right, maybe. It's not like that ball's actually worth
it's
anything.
worth nothing.
But at least this is what Harrison Bader's 86th career home run. Or something. Like, who cares?
Right.
What are you going to do with that ball? Oh, here's a somewhat dirty baseball that I put on my mantle as this victory. Like, you catch that. All right, that's one thing.
Yeah.
You went over and stole it from a child. Well, you show that to your friends, and they're going to be like, wow, we're not friends anymore because you're a bad person. Like, what happens next with that baseball for her?
Yeah,
But
right.
that's why I'm glad it worked out the way it did. I'm glad the Marlins and Phils both stepped up to kind of rectify the situation. Kid ended up having an extremely memorable day out of what would have been, oh, my dad got me this ball, to I met the guy who hit it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so I came up with a list of the 5 worst Philadelphia sports fans. All right, let me see if you guys are in lockstep here. All right? No, we'll count from number 5. Number 5, there was a guy named Ryan Caldwell.
Ryan Caldwell.
And this is the dude
That guy,
from the Packers-Eagles playoff game. This poor woman had in Packers gear, and this dude was screaming, saying vile things to her, and making us look bad.
Yeah.
This grown man berating a woman in a Packers gear.
Yeah, that's
Creepo.
A long time ago, I had a short-lived website we broke down the rules of heckling, because if you're going to be a heckler, no swearing, no threats. And that gets you not kicked out of a game. That's how you do it. If you're going to get into it with someone on the field or a rival fan, you have to know where that line is, because you make everyone uncomfortable. You make us look bad, and you're getting kicked out.
Yes.
And those are kind of the bare minimum rules.
Yeah, you can't be a grown man berating a woman
and that's, you just
in
can't
any
act that way
setting,
in
but on
public.
stage,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah. Now, number 4, I got the dude who was arrested during the 2018 playoff game against the Falcons for punching a horse,
Agree.
a police horse, in the face.
Kid,
This jackal punched a police horse in the face.
What did that horse do to you?
What a poor horse. Love a horse.
violence against animals also never tolerated.
Never tolerated in the flock.
0% acceptance rate.
Yes.
Creepo.
Just the worst.
I love
yes.
that we got their name.
All right.
We have their names. That's public scorn and derision.
Yes.
This is our only way to shame people in that.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yes.
Number 3, another creep. Matthew Clemens, not Kelly Clemens, who arrested for intentionally projectile vomiting. And he vomited on an 11-year-old girl.
This is one of those lives in infamy, like forever will be brought up. One of the modern threw snowballs at Santa Claus.
Yeah, the
Like,
vomiter.
this is forever remembered.
This is a guy who jams his fingers down his throat so he throws up and hits shrapnel, hits an 11-year-old
I
girl.
mean, come on, bro. Like, that's just vile. Awful.
All right.
I mean, awful.
That only comes in at number 3.
That's the fact that there's 2 more.
Yeah, right. That's
know,
only number 3.
Our reputation sometimes is like, really? And then there are some of these
Well,
stories
these
that
are
do
the 5
stand
I
out.
want to get rid of.
Yes.
Number 2, and he gave everybody.
I kind
a
of like
bad
it. I kind of
day.
like this
You
guy.
know, the horse poop eater.
I kind of
Come
like
on.
it. Yeah, I like
You
the
see,
horse poop eater.
This I have an issue with because he only hurt himself.
Exactly. There's no victim in this.
Bothers nobody
Yes.
but himself.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Yes.
Well, actually, I should have
Agreed.
put him in 5, right? Because it was he didn't hurt anybody else.
Yes.
But he made us look awful.
Do we know if
Like,
it was the
in
same
the
horse?
country.
Right.
Maybe he was apologizing to the horse.
Yeah.
And this is how, in his drunken stupor, he came up with how to do it.
I remember doing a Fox show, right? The national show, and they were going, you people eat horse poop at like to celebrate. What is,
Yes,
are
some of us do, apparently.
Are you?
I can't say no one does.
Yeah, everyone's got that person in their family. A horse poop eater, sure.
I
And then
love this
finally
count.
we had to do it because it's so fresh. And I just hate her from actually taking a ball from a child. And as a father of 2 kids, 2 boys, and seeing what she pulled, what an awful woman.
just to not have that, say you're just feeling some kind of way that was your ball. She has no claim to it, but she goes over there and she sees the moment between the father and son. There isn't an automatic like switch flip. Like, this is a sociopath. This person has no empathy or feelings inside of her other than me.
Yes.
And that's the worst kind
Philly's
of person.
Karen. There's nothing worse than a Karen. There's nothing worse than them, right? Like wanting to cause a scene and create a stir. Phillies Karen.
Living off of other people's desire to avoid confrontation.
Right.
Like, I'm at a game with my kids. I don't want to.
If you think that she could have come over calmly and be like, "Hey, it wasn't cool. I see it's for your kid. Sorry," but she had such indignation when she came over.
Well, what wasn't cool? The fact is, she
I'm
has
just
no
saying,
claim
she
to the ball.
thought it wasn't cool. I mean,
She had no claim to. She tells me she's a Fugazi fan, doesn't know the rules of the foul ball or the home run ball.
Yeah.
Doesn't understand it. She's a Fugazi.
This did lead to conversations, which I'm educating young fans in my life, nieces and nephews, seeing them this weekend. Like, listen, you have to have control of the ball. This is like a catch in the NFL. Both hands, possession. That is your only claim.
That's it. That's it. Anyway.
so I have a few. I wanted to see if they make this list or push anyone off.
All right.
I don't know their names, all of them.
Okay.
We got the guys who had the Bleep Millie banner.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't cool.
No, that's not
I mean,
really
that's
cool.
not
Like a
cool.
90-year-old woman.
You can't go attack Billy.
No, right.
You know, come on.
There was, I believe, a Flyers fan threw a beer on Lindy Ruff
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah.
I do have this guy's name, Chris Falcone. He tried to fight Ty Domi and jumped in the penalty box.
We talked about him on my Friday
Yeah,
show.
that's
I
weird.
think he's a legend.
The fact that you offered out Ty Domi, I'm sorry. He don't belong on the list.
You know, if you go after one of the
He's
premier
all right.
enforcers,
Yeah, I'm good with Falcone.
he's a Philadelphia legend.
All
Listen,
right.
you get tuned up, you get tuned up. Like, at least, whatever.
And one more. There's a guy who threw the popcorn off Russell Westbrook as he's walking off the court injured.
I mean, bad, but it doesn't stop any of these.
I think one of those can replace the poop eater.
Now, I don't know why. It made us look like we're animals. No, I'm sorry.
We're not.
There is an animalistic element.
We're worse than animals because only flies eat poop.
Yeah.
All right? They made us look like a fly. No, I'm sorry. The poop guy stays.
fly.
I mean, stop. No, I'm sorry. Poop guy stays. You had a couple bad things. The batteries being thrown. You had the bracelets. Remember the bracelets?
Bracelets.
On that Snyder night.
It's an ugly night.
But I think these five are the Hall of Fame.
The fact that we have their names and
Creepos.
I know their stories.
Yeah, no good. All right, do you want to take us in the back of the day?
Yeah, let's do it. We got a weird one. Weird little fact.
Oh, yeah?
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with True Mark.
So I'm going to give you a date. See if it rings any bells to you. November 18th, 1962.
No idea.
There have been only two men with the last name of Moyer to play Major League Baseball. Ed Moyer died on November 18th, 1962, and Jamie Moyer was born on November 18th, 1962.
Reincarnation!
Yes. They're very similar looking.
I find that creepy.
Yeah, look at it.
Like, that is some
The reincarnation. The
Super weird.
soul went into
Yeah.
the James. Look at that.
Immediate
dream
reincarnation.
stuff. It's some
Yeah.
weird, some weird
That's
going
way
on.
back in the day, man.
Yes.
That's fascinating. By the way, Tasting Tom's the Dirty 30. Honorable mention.
That was a rough one.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for us. With Philadelphia debut today.
1:30.
1:30
All
right here
make
on
sure
PHLY.
You're watching, all right, everybody. Great job, Jules. We love you guys. We'll see you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.